Last year, in between the filming of stag culture around Europe, we decided to find some time to bow hunt for ourselves. Big and I, without the added pressure of producing a film. The story of Big trying to get a stag is long. She has tried hard for several seasons, and despite being super close, she hasn't been able to harvest a stag yet with her bow. For this reason, we traveled to southern Spain, more specific to Cáceres, to try to spot and stalk some deer and maybe some mouflon too. A free-range area with bad quality of trophies, but with really good numbers of deer, which will give us the opportunity we have been searching for. The terrain here offers a good amount of cover for stalking, but this time of the year, after the whole summer, ground is as noisy as it can be, so our main strategy is to try to set up on the right place and call a stag into bow range for Big.
It sounds like a young one, don't you think? Like, we don't care.
Using a combination of stags and hind calls, we finally convinced our first stag to come in. And luckily, a bit too far for Big's shooting comfort zone. The rat though is at its peak, so I'm confident we'll have more opportunities.
Western Spain, right in the border with Portugal. Hunting stags with our bows. Short afternoon, but we got a couple of close encounters, so it looks promising. Hopefully we manage to get Big her first stag that she well deserves. Now I'm trying to sound like a baby stag compared to the ones in Germany. The stag is in there with a female, so go like this.
What do you think? You don't think so?
It was too much. I drove back
No.
too quick. And I was drawing back for 1 minute, so. And I couldn't. I started like with between this second and the third pin without knowing the real distance. I mean, that one is not coming back.
Big shot. We call in a stag. That was exciting. But I think she had to guess the distance. And it looks like the stag is running okay. Dishonest. We found the arrow. Clean miss. Stag's 1. Stag got to 0.
The stag is alone, so we don't waste any time and rush into position. The setup is crucial. I put Vic in between the roaring stag and myself and start doing some hind calls to bring him in.
We just called in a stag to 30 meters, but the bushes are too high. I got excited. He came. He was coming. He was gonna pass by 70 meters or so too far. I thought, ew. Suddenly he just turned. ¿Qué ha sido?
Hello, darkness, my friend.
This is how bow hunting goes. You often get really close, but not quite enough. Too many little things need to line up, but we can only do one thing. Keep trying and trying. There are discussions on every marriage, but if you hunt together, there are even more. As the sun rises, we move inside the forest, towards the deer bedding areas, in hopes to get inside a stag territory to challenge him in. The key before calling is to quietly sneak in close enough to the herd so when you call, they feel the pressure of another stag coming in to steal the hinds. With everyone in position, it's time to start the show.
My opportunity right there. And I fucking hit a limb.
Beautiful, we call in a stag. I move
I do believe we are really lucky. We may not have shoot a stag this time, but what we do have is another great story to tell our children. As much as I like hunting with my wife, after so many close encounters, I have to admit that I needed to do some hunting for myself.
This afternoon we have left Big and Jack inside a blind. And we have decided to go for a little stalking with the guitar. Let's go, let's see if we see a big stag or a mouflon or a wild boar or... Too small. Lovely plan. We are hiking down this big creek, going all the way up.
Even if we are chasing big game, the main purpose of this territory is the red partridge, an iconic animal in Spain which is traditionally hunted here with el perdigón, a live trained partridge used in the mating season to call other birds in.
64 meters. We have spotted a fox.
Being the fox the main predator over this species, when you cross with one, the instructions from the owners are very clear.
How was that? We see a bedded fox. 40 meters. I sneak, we were 60, I sneak at 40, but I didn't want to get closer because with the deep, I was gonna lose sight. I could barely see a little bit of the fox. Took my time, poof. This is the arrow. Oh, the most beautiful fox for summer.
Foxes are beautiful creatures, but if not properly balanced, can produce a big impact on many species, especially with the lack of predators over them, and also the small number of rabbits as an alternative food source in these territories.
Fuck, I think the skin is beautiful.
And then eat cold tortilla. Right?
And open it like this. Oh, now we have a paella inside.
The weather looks unstable, and Victoria, who is a really patient person, decides to give the blind a second chance. On the other hand, I rush to try to make the most out of our last morning of hunting. Our main goal is to try to locate some mouflon. There are very few and very spooky, and according to the owner of the area, we are basically wasting our time chasing them with a bow. Time to prove them wrong. Rain starts to drop, covering our sound and also soaking all the ground underneath us, allowing us to move quietly. Finally, we locate a small group of rams walking away. We take advantage of the conditions and run to cut them off.
We have a couple of mouflon there. We're gonna check. Just stay very close behind the ridge.
Man.
Yeah, I got it. I wasn't gonna shoot the small one. I wasn't gonna shoot the small one. I was just at full draw. The mouflon at 5 meters. I was like, I'm not shooting the small one. I may regret. And thanks God, because a bigger one came out. I guessed 40 meters. Boom, great shot. Stop at 50, guessed 50. Boom, second shot. Yeah! And it was bigger. Poof. Fucking awesome, nobody. And you were like, I got it. It's like, yeah, I need to aim. Oh, both shots. Fuck.
Claro, y te estaba diciendo aguanta, y yo haciendo así, aguanta, aguanta que va el último.
He perdonado.
A los dos pequeños.
A los dos pequeños, a 5 metros, at 5 meters. Just completely went through the mouflon and was stuck on the ground. It's not often when you shoot an animal, just go through the mouflon. The mouflon didn't know what happened. Just stood there 20 meters away, just like what just happened to me, and I just was able to take a second shot as a backup.
Super happy of having been able to make something out with such little time, but also a bit sad that Victoria couldn't harvest her first ever star. That gave us though the perfect excuse to come back here again.